Hobnappy relatives, Membewa Tahushka Opi Miha. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. And today we are going to be going over genealogy again. And today I got the brother Love Legacy here with me again to speak on genealogy. And what I wanted to do today is I wanted to go over the 1790 other free heads of household for South Carolina. So all the people watching that have genealogy from this particular state, definitely you want to tune into this, take notes to see if your people are showing up in these states. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Love Legacy jump on and introduce himself. He's my co-host for this show.
Can I have nappy, everyone? Peace, love, and light. Love Legacy. I'm here. Let's do this.
All right. So before we start off, I'm gonna say what's up to the chat real quick. Check out how many roots. Peace. Glad to see you here. Mr. Dark Fly Brother. Appreciate you being here as well. Wanagi, appreciate you, relative. Thanks for stopping by. Rude ASX Ebo, thanks for stopping through, sis. Appreciate you. Stephen Radclay, good to see you in here, relative. Thank you. Let's see, we also got, and I think that's it in the chat for now. So let's go ahead and get started. So what I wanted to do is I want to go over a few things. As you see down, scrolling across the bottom of the screen, genealogy still first thing. And our brother Wanagi, he actually has done a few videos kind of showing everyone, his lines and, letting you know that genealogy definitely is key. There it is on the screen. So, for anyone that's, we need to get back to the basics, like he said. We need to start showing and proving who we are. Don't ever let anyone tell you that genealogy isn't important. The whole purpose of all this is that you can trace your family line back to show that you are the original people of this land, no matter what you call yourself. We don't care about that. We all got different things that we call ourselves, and that's all good with me. I don't have any issues with it. So as we get into the presentation today of the South Carolina census, there's a few other things I'm gonna go over as well that I found that's kind of important in this search. So give me just a second. I'm gonna screen share real quick here, and we'll start getting into the census for South Carolina. And Legacy, if you had anything you wanted to say, you can, bro, while I'm getting this all set up.
While he's doing that, I just want to say that the most important thing is to get started, and above all, honor your ancestors and honor the family that you have now, regardless of differences or anything like that. Right? It's most important. More important than genealogy. More important than tribing up, than saying who you are, is honoring your ancestors and your family.
I definitely agree. Definitely agree. All right, relative. So as you can see on the screen, we got other free heads of household in the 1790 South Carolina census by family name. And the first name that we have on here, hopefully everybody can see this pretty good. I'll blow it up just a little bit more. There we go. So the first person listed here is John Anderson, and he was in Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. So what I actually did was I went on Ancestry and I looked this gentleman up. And as you can see here, this is John Anderson right here. He's on the 1790 census for this county in South Carolina. And I'll show you the columns here. So your first column, you got your free white males, 16 years and above. And you got your free white males under 16 years. Then you got your free white females. And then you got your all other free. And you got slaves over here. Okay. So remember, this is the column for all other free. And if we scroll down, we'll go back to John Anderson. Here he is. He's got a 1 right here showing, that he was there. Now, one other issue that I had when I was looking at this slave column over here to the side. I did some digging because I wanted to see, what the National Archives and all these different places actually categorize, or their definition of all other free persons. And basically what I found was this. So let me click on this archive information that I pulled up. So I'm going to read this. It says African Americans in the federal census 1790-1930. As we all know, Dodge just hijacked African Americans. But let me read this. It says the federal government conducts a census every 10 years. The National Archive maintains a microfilm record of each available census of free and slave populations arranged by state, county, and enumeration division. And it says the federal constitution stipulates that a slave counted as three-fifths of a person for purposes of taxation and appointment of the House of Representatives. Okay, let's keep reading. The federal population schedules, 1790 to 1840. Only the heads of free households appear in these records. All others, including slaves, are noted statistically under the head of household or reported owner. Let's keep reading. It says free African Americans in 1790 to 1840 census. Then it says enumerated with the remainder of the free population. Black, it's got to be there, or mulatto, it's got an M there. Indicates the race of the head of household. Other members of the household were listed in age brackets by sex. And it says census for 1790 and 1810 lists free non-whites in a category tilted all other free persons. Okay, so that's non-whites, all other free persons. Okay, so we know that all other free people are non-whites because that's what the Census National Archives is telling us. And it says there is no distinction made between free blacks and Native Americans not on reservations. The census for 1820, 1840 lists people of color separately. Okay, let's keep going. It says slaves in 1790, 1840 census. No notation of slave by name, age, sex, or origination appears. This is very important information. Okay, it says the census lists slaves statistically under the owner's name. Okay, let's keep going. The federal population schedules 1850 to 1860. All right, it says free African Americans in the 1850 and 1860 census. Beginning in 1850, the census named all free members of households, white and non-white. The enumerator recorded the person's name, age, sex, place of birth, and the color of each free person in a household, black, white, or mulatto. Okay. And we'll read this one next part here, and this will be it for this. Says slaves in the 1850 and 1860 census. For these two censuses, slaves were enumerated on a separate schedule. The census does not record slave names. Census takers were instructed to substitute numbers in place of names on the slave schedules. The slave schedules are arranged by state, then by county, then by owner. These schedules record the number of slaves owned and their color, black or mulatto, sex, age, whether deaf, dumb, blind, insane, or idiotic, the number of fugitives from the state, and the number manumitted. So, listening to this, what I just read, this area here on the census record that has slave here, we basically don't know who these people were. We don't know what race they were. There's never, ever, ever, ever going to be any names of who these people are. So, how do you prove that your ancestor was a slave? Just because you were told so, basically. So, again, there's never, ever, ever going to be a way on a census where it says slaves that you're going to ever know who these people are. All right, so I just wanted to make that clear and show everybody what I found. Legacy, did you want to jump in for a second? You have any words?
Yes. I see that it said 3/5 human. That's the same thing that they did when they turned us from Indian to Negro. They said that it was at one time it was illegal to slave Indians. So then they just changed the name, just like with the 3/5 human. If you're 3/5 human, then you're not protected by the Constitution or anything like that. You're not protected by any of those rights because you're not considered a man. So these are the games they play. So if they did that with 3/5 human, why would they not do that with Indian and Negro and African and all of this nonsense? That's pretty much it. So all the time they knew.
Right. Exactly. So, for and it's awful strange that a lot of us are finding like our ancestors' names in the census records. When you do go back, I know we do get stuck in some places, but for the most part, you're getting names, where they lived, where they were from. So, and they're also showing up in these other free records. So, again, I'm not sure who these slaves were, but hopefully one day we can find out the actual names of who these people are. But anyway, back to the census record, and want to give a shout out to Gretchen Helm. Honor, appreciate you being here, sis. All right, so we'll continue on. Our next person in the South Carolina 1790 census, other free, is William Anderson. He lived in Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. Next, we got Samuel Barshears, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we got William Bay, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we got George Beeden, and it says free next to his name. Charleston, St. Philip's, and Michael's Parish. Next after him, we got John Bing, B-I-N-G, Beaufort District. After him, we got Matthew Bing, Beaufort District. So I'm assuming they were related to each other. Next, we got Solomon Bolton, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Next after him, we have Spencer Bolton, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. After him, we got Philip Bonner, South Orangeboro District. So far, again, this is for South Carolina. If any of these names sound familiar or you've seen them popping up in your genealogy, they can be found on Ancestry or whatever you're using for genealogy in those particular census lists, and it will say other free in the list. So next we got Joshua Brace Boy. And you're going to see this spelled a few different ways as we continue on. Georgetown District, Prince Frederick's Parish. Then we got Isham Bradley. Now it says Negro next to his name. 96th District, Lawrence County. And this is what I meant by the different spellings for Brace Boy. So it's also spelled Brave Boy. We got a Lewis Brave Boy. South Orangeboro District. We got a Patty Brave Boy, Charwa District. Sam Brave Boy, Charwa District. We got Alexander Brown, Beaufort District. William Bryan, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. We got Frank Bugg, and next to his name it says Free Negro, 96th District, Edgefield County. And next we have a Samuel Bugg, 96th District, Newberry County. After him, we got a Ephraim Bunch, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we have a Ephraim Bunch, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we have Lovett Bunch, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have William Bunch. So he's on here twice. And I'm sure it looks like, maybe he had another addition to the family is why they haven't been here 2 times. Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we got George Butler, Camden District, Richland County. Mary Busby, Beaufort District. All right, I'm going to stop there for just a second. Legacy, did you have anything you wanted to add in?
Only thing that I see that kind of stuck out to me was the whole Brave Boy. Normally, when you, at least from my experience, when you see names like that, you automatically know that they're Indian when they have names like that.
Right.
So I just wanted to point that out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. When you see those weird names like that, it's safe to assume that they're Indian, and those names are their an English version of their indigenous name.
Agreed. And before we continue on, I'm gonna jump back into the chat real quick, say what's up to a few people. Indigenous original Copper Indian Warrior, appreciate you being here, bro. Kiowa and Petawaste relative, good to see you. All right, and we will continue on with the South Carolina 1790 other free heads of household census. All right, so our next person we have here is Mary Busby, Beaufort District. We got Frieder Carter, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michael's Parish. We got Needham Cato, Camden District, Lancaster County. We got Billy Cattle, and next to his name it says Free, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michael's Parish. So here in the next couple things that I'm going to read here with some of these people where it says mulatto, you're going to see next to their name, it's going to say that they were bound. So I've gone over what this means. And if you're curious on what it means to be bound to someone, I strongly suggest doing some research on it. So our first person here we got is John Chayers. So this could be Chavis, this could be Chavers, any of those spellings. It says mulatto, bound 5 years, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we got Robert Chalmers. Next to his name, it says Negro, 96th District, Abbeville County. All right. Next, we got Robert Chappelle, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we got Elijah Chavers, South Orangeboro District. Next, we got Jordan Chavers, Mulatto, Chirwa District. Next, we got Lazarus Chavers, South Orangeboro District. Next, we got Latisse Chavers, South Orangeboro District. All right, next we got Hannah Chavers. Next to her name, it says Mulatto, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next we got William Cherry. Next to his name, it says Negro, 96th District, Abbeville County. All right, next we got Daniel Clark, Camden District, Lancaster County. Next we got Edmund Clark, Camden District, Richfield County. Next we have a Mr. Colby, Cobey, Charleston, Dorchester, St. George Parish. All right, let's keep it moving. Next we got Ruth Cole, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Philip's and Michael's Parish. Next we got Tom Cole, free, Charleston, St. Philip's and Michael's Parish. Next we got Arthur Collier, Camden District, Lancaster County. Next we got Carrie Collins, South Orangeboro District. Next we got George Collins, Georgetown, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. All right, next we got Winna Combest, says Mulatto next to her name, Charwell District. Next we got John Cochran, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next we got David Cozart, Camden District, Lancaster County. After that we got a Clarissa Cross, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Philip's and Michael's Parish. Next we got, looks like Alexander Crosby, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. All right. Next we got Joss, looks like Colclasher, Mulatto, bound 1 year, 96th District, Edgefield County. All right, our next person is going to be Stuart Cummins, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we got Jane Cutler, Mulatto next to her name, 96th District, Lawrence County. Next, we got Jas Cutong, Charleston District, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. All right, I'm going to stop right there again. And Legacy, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I was gonna say I just popped in my mind with some of these names too. Is when you come across a name that you don't know what it is, it just sounds weird or sounds unique or something like that. You can actually go and research the name. I found names that I didn't understand. I'm like, what kind of name is this? And then when I went to look up the name, it was a type of plant that's in North America. So you have to look for things like that. And as always, the misspellings of names. And then also I saw like a Cheraw district, so that might be a lead on what tribe they were from, because not all tribes were on reservations even then. Sometimes they occupied whole towns.
That is correct. You're absolutely right. And wanted to jump in the chat one more time again here and say what's up to Vicky Simmons. Good to see you here, sis. Thank you for showing up. Greatly appreciate it. All right, relatives. So we're going to keep it moving here with this list. Again, we're on the 1790 census of other free heads of household in South Carolina. So again, any of those names that you see or hear that are showing up and you see them in your genealogy, this is a good start because you know that they're on the 1790 census and they can be looked up. All right, so our next person is going to be Mrs. Daniels. Says next to her name she was free. Charleston, St. Philip's and Michael's Parish. Next, we got Jesse Davis, 96th District, Spartanburg County. All right. Next, we got John Davis, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we got Di Delabar, that is Beaufort District. Next, we got Jas Dinsmore, Beaufort District. Next, we got Jack Downs. Says Negro next to his name. 96th District, Lawrence County. Next, we got Course Driggers, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Next, we got Thomas Driggers. And they don't give the county he was in, but I'm assuming he's with Course. Next, we got Joseph Eastridge, Camden District, Lancaster County. Next, you got John Evans, Beaufort District. And as you can see, Evans is spelled a little bit different than it normally is. Next, we got Rebecca Eden, Charleston District, Christchurch Parish. Next is Daniel Eady, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. George Eady, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. We got Joss Eady, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we got John Eady, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. We got William Eady, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. We got William England, Camden District, Richland County. All right. Next person we are going to come across here is going to be Simon Fairfax. Next to his name, it says Free Negro, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. All right. Next, we got Michael Franch, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we got a John Francis, Beaufort District. Next, we got Thos Frazier, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. Next, we got John Frost, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. We got a Cyrus Frost, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. All right, I'm going to stop there again for a second. And Legacy, did you want to jump in with any words?
Just looking at this, some of these names. Again, look for the sound more than the spelling sometimes, because as you go back, you'll see people's
Right.
names changing. So, like for instance, you got Gant, that could be Grant.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had
Right.
Edie, that could translate to Ely. So you really have to,
Mm-hmm.
really have to be open-minded when looking at these names, because you'll see Harris turn to Harrison and back to Harris again, things like that. So just deal with more sounds than anything.
Exactly. And I agree because that's really important on the spelling because I know with my grandmother's surname, the Ransom surname, it's spelled Ranson with an N on the end of it. It's Ransom with an M on the end of it, and then it even has an E on the end of it sometimes too. But all the same family. All right, relatives, we're gonna keep it moving. Let's see. Next, we are at George Galpin, South Orangeboro District. James Gant, Free Negro, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we got George Gardner. Says Free next to his name, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michael's Parish. Next, we got Sarah Gibbs, Beaufort District. Next, we got Daniel Gibson, Georgetown District, Prince Frederick's Parish. Next, we got John Gibson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we got Jas Gordon, Camden District, Lancaster County. Next, we got Penelope Gordon, says Free next to her name, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michael's Parish. Next, we got William Gordon, Beaufort District. Next, we got Peter Green, 96th District, Newberry County. Next, we got Abram Ham, Beaufort District. Next, we got Thomas Harmon, Georgetown District, Prince Frederick's Parish. Next, we got George Harris, Camden District, Chester County. Next, we have William Hatcher, says Negro next to his name, Cherwell District. All right, our next person is going to be Priscilla Henderson, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have Pace Hicks, says mulatto, bound 3 years, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we have John Hill, Camden District, Lancaster County. Next is Peter Hilliard, mulatto, wife, four children, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we got Paul Holy, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Abraham Horman, South Orangeboro District. Next, we got Ames Howard, Beaufort District. Next is David Howard, Beaufort District. Next, we have Thomas Hullen, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Next, we have John Jackson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Stephen Jackson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Thomas Jackson, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we have Thomas Jackson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Toby Jackson, Beaufort District. Next, we have Isaac Jones, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have Richard Jones, Beaufort District. Next, we got William Jones, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Here's William Jones again, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. All right, we got another William Jones, Beaufort District. And then we have Joseph Joy, mulatto, Charwell District. All right, stop there again for a second. Legacy, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, I saw Kyle said something interesting the way back when I said Edie. He said it could have been Petey also. And
Ooh,
then I
good point.
see you had Hullen. You had Hullen up there. That could be Holden. That could be Holland. You know, so you really have to look at that. Another thing that you're gonna see a lot, which I see on here, is them shortening the name, the first name. Like right there it says
Right.
Richard Kelly, RICHD, right? Then
Right.
you have William, which is usually WM, John, JNO,
Right.
and James, JAS.
Mm-hmm.
Charles, they have as Chas, CHAS. So, you know, they
Right.
found ways to just put those names out there and then they kept using those things. So you have to look for that. And even like right there, I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but you see it says Ben Knight. You see they spell Knight differently right there. And then also Ben
Exactly.
could be Benjamin. And you may have to go back and forth when you're looking through these records as you go up the tree. It could be Ben here, it could be Benjamin another year, Benjamin. I mean, all of those different things, and those things count. You'll think
Absolutely.
I've looked at records and said, "Oh, this can't be them because this is like this,"
Right.
and was lost. So yeah, just look out for those names and for those I guess you would call abbreviations. I don't know what to call them, but yeah, look out for those.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Just want to give some more shouts out to the chat. I see Raina, peace, sis. Glad you're here. Also see Nighthawk. Appreciate you being here, relative. Thank you. David Corey, what's good, brother? Good to see you. All right, relatives, we're gonna keep this train moving. So now we into the K's again. We're doing the 1790 other free census of South Carolina, heads of household. All right, so next we're in the K's. So we are at Sarah Kersey. Next to her name, it says mulatto, 96th District, Abbeville County. All right, next we got Richard Kelly, says mulatto next to his name, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next we have Dick Knight, says mulatto next to his name, Cherwell District. All right, next we got Ben Knight, and as Legacy was saying, it could be spelled with a K at the beginning. The K could not be there. It just could be the word night. Next to his name, it says Mulatto, 96th District, Edgefield County. All right, our next person is going to be Sarah Lampton. It says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Next, we have Isaac Lineger, Georgetown District, Prince Frederick's Parish. Next, we have John Lorman, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we have Abraham Lloyd, Beaufort District. Then we have Joseph Lloyd, Beaufort District. Next, we have Peter Matthews, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Next, we have Dick Masick, says free next to his name, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Next, we have Jess McLaughlin, District 96th District, Greenville County. Next, we have Jess Miles, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Excuse me. Next, we got Nellie Miller, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Let me grab a drink of water real quick, relatives. All right, we good. All right, next we have Kate Moore, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Next we have Joe Moore, Charleston, St. Phillips, and Michaels Parish. Next we got John Morris, South Orangeboro District. Next we got Richard Morris, and as you can see, this has two S's on the end of it. So again, look out for them spellings. Camden District, Richland County. Next we got David Mosley, 96th District, Spartanburg County. Next we got John Murphy, Mulatto and wife, 96th District, Edgefield County. All right, next we got Tamer Nagin, South Orangeboro District. Next we got William Nazary Jr., Camden District, Richland County. Next we got James Nunes, South Orangeboro District. Next we got Paul Noble, Charleston, Dorchester, St. George Parish. Next we have Ben Payne, Mulatto, 96th District, Abbeville County. Next we have Daniel Parker, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next we have Francis Parker, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next we have Ezekiel Patrick, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Okay. Next we have John Penderverse, South Orangeboro District. Next we have William Penderverse, South Orangeboro District. Next we have Lewis Pitcock, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. Next we have John Primus, Beaufort District. Next we have Mr. Rambert, Charleston District, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next we have Charity Reed, South Orangeboro District. Next we have Chloe Reed, South Orangeboro District. Hardy Reed, South Orangeboro District. Shadrick Reed, South Orangeboro District. Next we have a Willis Reed, South Orangeboro District. Next we have a William Reedman, 96th District, Spartanburg County. Next we have Joseph Reddish, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next we have Crystal Rimley, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. Next we got Cornelius Rouse, and it says Negro next to his name, Cherwell District. Next we got John Rouse, South Orangeboro District. We have Peter Rouse, South Orangeboro District. Next we have Frederick Rowe, Free Negro, 96th District, Lawrence County. Next, we have Thomas Russell, Georgetown District, Prince Frederick's Parish. Next, we have Abraham Scott, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have Colemus Scott. Says mulatto next to his name, bound 5 years. 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we have Jas Scott, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Moses Scott, Beaufort District. We have Patty Scott, mulatto next to her name or his name, bound 7 years, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we have William Scott, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have Winnie Scott, says Negro next to her name, Cherwell District. And let's see, next we have George Shanks, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. We got James Shoemake, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. James Shoemake Jr., Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Samson Shoemake, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Solomon Shoemake, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. We have a Richard Simmons, Beaufort District. John Simpson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. William Sims Jr., Camden District, Lancaster County. We have a William Scott, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. We have a John Smith, says Negro, next to his name, 96th District, Abbeville County. Next, we have a Sookie Smith, Georgetown District, All Saints Parish. We have a James Speeder, mulatto next to his name, bound 6 years, 96th District, Edgefield County. And we have a Sam Speeder, mulatto, bound 10 years, 96th District, Edgefield County. And we have a William Sweat or Sweet, mulatto next to his name, Charwa District. All right, I'm going to stop here for a second and let Legacy jump in with some words.
Yeah, same thing with the names. I saw it had a Reed up there as Read. It's also
Right.
spelled Reed, Reid, and that's a popular Indian last name. And then you had Pitcock, Pitcock, Pitcock. And I thought that would be interesting if it was Peacock also. And then you had Reedmond, Readmond, I believe. And that could also be spelled with the MAN on it, or it could be Redmond, which is also indigenous name. I believe some of them are so-called Cherokee. And then you had Shoemake, which probably is more than likely shoemaker, and that's probably what they did for a living.
Agreed. Definitely. I did put the link, David Corey, in the chat there, so hopefully that helps. And just want to give a couple more shout outs here and we'll continue on. Arthur Gray, good to see you, relative. Thanks for showing up. We also have Chad Murdoch, big ups. Appreciate you being here, bro. Thank you. All right, so let's keep it moving. All right, so again, we're doing the 1790 other free heads of household census for South Carolina. All right, so our next person is going to be Brian Tan, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Jacob Tan, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Ned Tanner, Charleston, Berkeley County, St. John's Parish. Next, we have Martin Taylor, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Next, we have Wood Taylor, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we have Joel Thruwith, Camden District, Richland County. Next, we have John Turner, Georgetown District, Prince George's Parish. Next, we have John Vinningham, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Next, we have Sam Waldron, says free next to his name, Charleston, St. Philip's, and Michael's Parish. Next, we have Lydia Watson, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Philip's, and Michael's Parish. Next, we have Sally Watson, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Philip's, and Michael's Parish. Next, we have Bet Weaver, says free next to her name, Charleston, St. Philip's, and Michael's Parish. Next, we have Abraham Williams, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have Amy Williams, South Orangeboro District. We got a John Williams, says mulatto next to his name, 96th District, Edgefield County. Next, we got Joseph Williams, South Orangeboro District. Next, we have a James Wilson, Charleston District, St. James Santee Parish. And last but not least, we have a William Wilson, Charleston District, St. Bartholomew's Parish. Hi, relatives. So again, that was the 1790 other free heads of household census for South Carolina. And again, when I went over that information about the census in the category for slaves, not sure who those people are. Again, they're never going to list the names. You're never going to see your relatives when you usually find them saying that their occupation was a slave. So, again, it's going to be difficult to connect yourself with any of those slaves in the census records. All right, so I'm gonna stop screen sharing and I'm gonna let Legacy go in a little bit if he has anything he'd like to go over.
Yeah, I saw on there you had a through with THRUWITH. I have some people that have that last name and it's spelled many ways, spelled three wits, THREEWITTS, and Theurich, THEURICH. I haven't went that far with them, but they were in North Carolina, so I was kind of shocked to see that they popped up in South Carolina. Another thing, I descend from some Van Landinghams, which are Dutch, and I see that there was a Venningham up there. So whenever you see a name and it has the ham on the end, more than likely it's Dutch or through that area somehow. So whenever you see that ham on the end, know that that's probably more than likely that's a Dutch last name, and that will tell you a lot about the people that more than likely they were free the whole time. Because as I go my Van Lanningham line, I could reach all the way back to the Netherlands all through there. So yeah, that's about it with that. But yeah, watch out for those names because they will switch up on you and they will leave you confused.
Exactly. And David Corey said something very interesting. He said that for the 2020 census to list yourself right, so your children will know and record, and the records will show you. So that's pretty interesting because I'm thinking like, how else could I do genealogy if my ancestors didn't participate in the census or whatever. I want when I'm gone, I want my ancestors to be able to look me up and say, okay, American Indian, that's what I am. And keep on being able to connect these dots back, and back, So, I mean, it's definitely important to, to do this information for your genealogy. I mean, I don't know how many ways to say it or how many times to say it, but genealogy, I mean, it's key. It's important. Like, we can't find out who we are if none of our ancestors ever participated in the census. So we just be guessing who we are, basically. Still going off of the African American narrative, right? So I mean, you know, you gotta do this genealogy to, if nothing else, if you don't care about, being an Indian or being part of a tribe, again, that's fine. That's just the route me and Legacy chose to go.
Hmm.
But you want to at least make sure that you could say, well, my people always been here. And you can't say that if you haven't been doing any research to find out. Legacy, did you want to say anything?
Yeah, I just thought of something also that people could do. If your parents are living or your grandmother's living, you could also talk to them and let them know, hey, I'm going to do the census for all of us. So even though they may not be residing at your residence, you could still put them down on one census. Because right now I have my grandmother living and my mother living. So I'll tell both of them, listen, don't do census where you at. I'm going to do the census over here, and I'm going to list y'all on the census with me. So that way, if somewhere down the line our people get lost or whatever and they look back, they could connect the dots easily.
And I'm just, want to address some of the things that are being said in the chat. Um, Sweet Kajik, I'm not sure how far you at least want to go back. I believe Legacy said this, and I've heard this plenty of times. He said this last time. You want to go back pre-Indian Removal Act.
Mm,
So I mean, you're probably. I mean, it's going to be very, very, very rare that you're going to see the word Indian actually on a census. I'm just going to be
mm-hmm,
honest with you. I mean, that's you probably more than likely ain't going to see the word Native American. You're not probably not going to see the word American Indian. I've
mm,
seen it in particular counties, but for the most part, most of my relatives here, they have mulatto, Negro, colored, and all that. So, I mean, I'm just how I found out again, I did my genealogy. I traced back to the core surnames that the particular tribe that I'm with, um, the surnames they list, my family goes back to. That's how I found out. Legacy, did you want to?
yeah. You should, to be honest, I had already put a note out, put a note to the side. Stop
Yeah,
looking for Indian, and
yeah,
at a certain point in your genealogy, stop looking for Black.
right,
The main thing you want to do, the real help when doing genealogy, the number one help is the children. People always go straight to the parents. They try to push the parents, push the parents. You got to push all the kids too. Let's say if the parent is not on an 1860 or something like that, oh, you can't find it connect to the parent. Because when you go on a site like Ancestry, a lot of stuff that you're finding, people already put that stuff up there. They already
right,
researched it and they put it up there. And they put it up there for their grandparent. And they may not have put it up there for another person.
right,
So sometimes a document could be connected to a child and not be connected to the parent for some reason. Different things like that. You got different scenarios like that. So don't skip the generation. Go to every child and attach every document to the child. And at a certain point also, you're gonna see it could turn into white. Don't assume that these people are actually white because as you go backward, like I've done, let's say I'm just give you an example, I come to 1830 and I got the parents or whatever around 1830, and the child is born or whatever, and they're listed as white also, but then as I go back the other way, they're listed as black in 1860 or 1890, whatever year it is. Eventually they turn into mulatto or black. So don't even worry about those things. The main thing is making sure that it's the right person around the right age in the right place. But the children tell it all. If the child was there, it will help you out a lot. Another thing too is you can't always look for the men. I've done a lot of times looking for the man, the man, the man, the man, the man, the man. Look for the woman. The woman, 9 times out of 10, she's always home. 9 times out
Yeah.
of 10, she's home. Men are going
Yeah.
off fighting wars, all kinds of stuff, but the woman is at home 9 times out of 10. So look for the woman when you look at this stuff a lot of times until you reach what about 1850, depending
Hmm.
on where you are, what state you're in. 1850, sometimes they just list the male as head of household, and then you'll see no names for the wife or children. So sometimes that
Right.
that does happen, but overall, you should be looking for the woman and the children, and fill them all up with documentation, connect them all together, and then also, like if you're looking for a certain year, say you're looking for 1860, for instance, right? And you know the child was born in 58, then you know that they're going to be on that 1860 census, even though you can't find the father or whatever. You know the child's going to be somewhere on there. So look, you never know what you could find. You could find the child at the grandmother's house.
Hmm.
Just a couple
Exactly.
tricks.
Exactly. And also, sweet KJ, yeah, not a problem. We're all here learning, and I definitely agree. I'm not sure really on what kind of records Peru kept. Um, I'm not sure if Ancestry has gotten a hold of any of those records or not.
Yeah.
Um, so I can't really, I don't want to tell you to do something that I'm not sure of.
If they were from Peru, you should be able to find it. South America, you're gonna find a lot of records, a lot of records. 9 times out of 10, they probably were amalgamated. They were certain skin tone, so you'll find records. Now, if they were straight up Negro brown like that, then it may get a little difficult. But overall, I haven't had any problems going through Puerto Rico, um, and Mexico, finding stuff from Mexico, and so I don't think you'll have a problem with that. The main problem is the United States. That's gonna be the hardest thing you're gonna go through. If they look like a
Right.
so-called Negro and they were in the United States, it's gonna be difficult. But don't count yourself out because it's like 1 out of 10 where people were really, really stuck and the trees aren't really going anywhere. That's 1 out of 10.
Right. And the other thing is too, a lot of the people in the chat have worked on their genealogy. So I mean, definitely pay attention to the things they're putting in there as well. Um, that's you can network that way, and finding out information on, next steps. But again, Legacy, he does genealogy, like that's his thing. He is offering his services. So, I mean, I put his email in the last video that we did. So please hit him up. Um, I'm not a genealogy expert. Again, most of what I've done and how far I've gotten has been trial and error. But Legacy, that's, he does genealogy. So please, if you need help, email him. No, he's offering his services to people. So please email him. Legacy, did you have any other genealogy things you wanted to speak about?
Oh, I got a lot to talk about talk about
Well, go ahead, man.
genealogy.
Go ahead, go
Um,
in.
yeah, sometimes just off the top, sometimes you may come across a cousin or uncle or something like that in the same census with your people. Just go and start a whole new tree. Take the person's information. Now ancestry, you can I guess unlimited amount of trees you can make. You can go on ancestry, start a whole new tree, and because if you're stuck, then you could go ahead and take their information. They were here at this time. This was their age, etc. And then you go ahead and you start a whole new tree with that person, and then you work your way up, and then you'll find out that you may be able to find a grandparent or something that way. Again, sometimes you'll find a grand, uh, let's say a grandmother on a census, different things like that. So you just have to really work it any way you can. Even if you just saw like just now we had 1790s up there, right? And you can't make it to 1790. Well, then if you see something that looks like it could be one of your people, work your way backwards. You know, work your way
Exactly.
backwards. I mean, it'll take some time to probably get to that point for some people, but work your way backwards. I mean, what's the only thing that can happen is that you don't find what you're looking for. That's the worst thing that could happen. But if we never look, we definitely won't find anything. The number one thing to do is get started. Is it does get
Yes.
it is time consuming. It is time consuming. It does get difficult sometimes. But find someone who can help you. Like you said, I help people all the time. But it takes a lot of time, so I do charge, but I can definitely work out something that's affordable for everyone. You know, I mean, how much a bottle of Hennessy costs? You know, how much for some
Right.
some marijuana? How much for the movie theaters? You know, or whatever it is that we spend our money on, the things that we want. We should want to find out who our people are, and like I said, it's affordable, man. I could charge like 20 a week, $20 a week. Hit me up. I'll do your work. That's it. $20 a week. You can make a plan, you know, or anything like that. It'll help me out and it'll help you out. But again, it's going to be a process. I'm not going to get your tree and bust your tree out in a day. I'm not going to bust your tree out in a month. The chance of that happening is very slim. So we just have to be patient and work our way through it. I could show people. You could go to my channel right now, Love Legacy 500. You can go over there, and I have a whole hour-long video that you can watch, and you can do it yourself. But just know that we run out of time.
Right.
April is around the corner, so I wouldn't play any games right now. April's around the corner. I don't really know the requirements for the census. Exactly what was going to be asked and different things like that. Exactly how everything's going to go. So you gotta get ready. Be ready for. I'm ready for everything. I have all my lineage straight. I'm enrolled in everything. So I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for the people. At one time, I was doing it for free. Right now, I could probably open about 20 trees. So there's no excuse.
Absolutely. Hey, also, Gretchen Helm, can you email me when you get a chance? It's I'll put my email in the chat. I think you have it. It's Real Indians No Play at Gmail. Email me when you get a chance. I wanted to holler at you about something. And I think Legacy Arthur Gray left a comment for you in there that he's tried to email you. So Arthur, I'm assuming Legacy will be reaching out to you when he
Yeah,
gets to the email.
yeah, definitely. It could have got lost. That's not my main email. People rarely hit me up. So I could have definitely missed you somehow. If I did, I apologize for that. I will definitely go and check. Usually people hit me up, I get right to them. But like I said, that's not my main email. My personal email is the one that really shoots off all the notifications. But I'll definitely get at you, Arthur, and we'll get busy on that ASAP.
Absolutely, absolutely. Also, Legacy. Before we end the show, for our brothers and sisters that are in the islands or Central America, South America, um, what kind of tips do you have for them as far as doing genealogy? Because I
Um,
know you said you've gone through Puerto Rico and all that. So I mean, like, how easy, how hard?
it was very easy for me to get through there. It was very easy. They kept a lot of records. I also hear that like Jamaica, for instance, they kept a lot of records. They have the register and everything like that. So, like I said, the hardest part is America. North America. Let me say that correctly. North America. All of this is America, but North America is the hardest. With through Puerto Rico, the hardest thing was translating. I
Mm,
mean, you get lost
right,
because Spanish, so-called Spanish people, they have like 4 or 5 names. You know what I mean? So your name would be
right.
Enrique, uh, Calles, Cruz, Barrero, Lopez. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that was like the hardest thing would be like language barriers and stuff like that. But the main thing to know with Spanish countries is that they were basically named just like with English with European places, they were named after where they were. So it would be like the Cruz family of Lares or something like that, or Barrero or whatever it is. They'll have it like that. But I didn't really have any problems through there. I didn't really have any problems. I went all the way back to so-called Spain, Andalusia and all of that. So and I haven't heard anybody really having any problems with that. You know, the only
Yeah.
difficulty is not doing it. That's it. There's only one way to see. You got to get there, and you just got to go hard. But I feel like the islands are much easier than in North America. North America gets very difficult depending on skin tones and wealth. So if your people for whatever reason weren't that wealthy, it may be hard to find some of this stuff. If your people were dark skinned, it may be hard to find some of that stuff. But the whole slavery narrative and all of that, that's not really a problem. I found one tree where it was like 5 lines enslaved, and I was like, whoa, or so-called enslaved. And I was like, whoa. But other than that, all the other trees that I come across, they're open. It's just if you weren't in certain areas, if your people weren't available, if your people didn't do it for whatever reason, if there were wars, if there were battles, if buildings burned down. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why you may not be able to find a record on your relative. And even though I do genealogy, I use ancestry just like anybody else. I'm probably a little, better at it than some people, but I'm using what's available there. If you really want to get down and get dirty, you have to go to these places. So
Yeah.
if you're lucky and you live in, say, I'm just giving an example, you live in North Carolina or something like that, and your people were in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Virginia, then you're lucky. You're right there. You got to get up and you have to go. And even when you go, you have to really push at these people. These people don't want to do their jobs. They don't want to help you. They don't want to go and pull out microfilm for you. Another thing too is don't let people know what you have in your hand. You can't walk in there like, oh, well, they just because they're black doesn't mean that they were black. They were Indians and this, that, third. These people don't like us. They don't want to help us. They don't want to see us free. They don't want to admit that they took our land and try to tell us that we're from somewhere else. So don't always show your hand when dealing with outsiders. Don't always tell people what you're looking for, etc. It is what it is. They know. The only people that don't know is us.
Definitely. Definitely. And so I think so we reached about the hour mark, so I think we're gonna go ahead and shut it down at this point. But I do appreciate everyone in the chat for showing up today and all the great comments and questions that everybody put up today were really awesome. And again, me and Legacy are gonna, more than likely keep doing this because I think it's important.
Hmm.
We definitely got to get at least everybody to this step, if nothing else. And then, will all the other things will come. Legacy, before we go, your closing words.
Yeah, like I said, just get started. It's not that difficult to get started. You may need help as you go along. If you don't have the time, then get someone that can help you. Like I said, I try to make it affordable. When people hear what they think is a lot of money, they back off. But genealogists, just to start with a genealogist, you probably talking about $700. If you go to ancestry.com, you'll see a genealogist for $2,500. And the only thing they're going to tell you is that you're a slave and that you are African. So you got somebody that's willing to work with you and say, hey, $80 a month. I mean, that's not bad for someone helping you. It's it's really tedious. I'm not gonna say hard, but it can be tedious and it can be a headache, a headache that the average person may not want. I'm just being honest. So I mean, you have somebody here that can help you. My email is lovelegacy400, lovelegacy400 at Gmail. You can reach me on Instagram, lovelegacy500, and I'm here to help you guys. Again, in the beginning I was doing it for free, but I was doing it for free and people weren't appreciating it. So now I'm taking time away from my family, away from my own tree, my own meditation and stuff like that. But I'm still not trying to take advantage of the people, But milk is like $6, so yeah, reach out to me and we'll see what we could do. Thanks you, Opie, as always, Pilahu, and I want to thank the Most High and everyone who's here. Peace.
And before we close out, L Marie Queen, get a hold of Love Legacy. I put his email in the chat. Again, he does have family ties to Puerto Rico, and he can kind of guide you to any questions you have as far as where you're trying to get to on there. And for me, again, I appreciate everyone coming out. One love to all of you. Again, I'm going to keep doing this for you guys because I genuinely care.
Mhm.
And just know that that's why we're doing this. We want our people to be free. I mean, basically, is what it all boils down to, or as free as we can be. And again, we want you all to be able to trace back as far as you can go, find your people. Know that you've always been here. Okay.
Mhm.
And with that, we're gonna go ahead and shut her down. And one love to everybody. Take care.